Pingwa.
Hi, it's Kayla from Pingwa. Welcome to episode 3 in this 3-part video tutorial that will take you through the steps of developing a game in Scratch where an alien is lost in space and must pass through the moving rings that orbit Saturn in order to return to its home planet. Episode 3 will take you through the steps to code your moving maze and add a variable to your game. Let's begin. Did you happen to notice that our alien gained powers that allow him to travel through green walls on our maze? Next, we need to add another condition block so that if our alien touches a specific color, it will bounce back to the starting spot. We want to add this into our forever loop so that each and every time we play the game, if our Pico walking sprite touches the green maze wall, our sprite will return back to the starting spot. First, we need to go over to our left side of our toolbox and select the Control tab. Inside here, we need to click and drag an if-then statement into our forever loop because we want this to forever occur. Now, as you can see, we have 5 if-then statements inside our forever loop on our code for our Pico walking sprite. Under our light blue sensing tab on the left side, select the hexagon-shaped block touching color, the second one down from the top of the menu. Click on the color located in your hexagon-shaped block. By clicking on the color, this will bring you to the option of picking a color from the slider bar. At the very bottom, there is an option to select a color from your screen using your color dropper. This is the option we're going to use. Once you click on the color dropper, you can scroll over to your stage and select your color green directly from your stage. This will change the color in the touch color block. We can now click and drag this touching color green into our very first if-then conditional statement. Now, if our Pico walking sprite is touching our color of green, we need to tell it where to go. In order to do this, we need to go back to the left side of our Toolbox tab and select Motion. Click and drag a Go to XY onto your scripting field. Use the numbers in your very first Go to XY block. In this case, mine would be -224 and the number 1. Click and drag this Go to block into our first if-then statement underneath the touching green color. Test out your code. When you hit the green flag above your stage, you will see that if you touch the green circle using your Pico walking sprite, it will bounce back to the start position. Now we must code our Sprite 1 so that it will rotate and create our moving maze. Once we finish this code, we can create more layers in our maze. Start by clicking on your Sprite 1 in the Sprite menu to the right of the screen. In order to make our Sprite rotate, we will need to start with our event block, when green flag clicked, which can be found on the left side of our screen under the Events tab. Click and drag our when green flag clicked into our scripting field. We will also need a forever loop block from our Control tab on the left-hand side. Select the Control tab and click and drag a forever loop underneath our when green flag clicked block. The forever loop will make it so that our green ring will forever rotate in the direction that we tell it. Lastly, from our Motion tab on the left-hand side, we need the Turn Left Arrow 15 degrees block. Click and drag this block inside the forever loop. Change the number inside the Turn Left block to the number 1. This will allow the sprite to make small movements in the rotation so that it stays in the same spot while it rotates. This is the entire code that we need to make our Sprite 1 rotate. Next, we need to add more than one ring to our maze. Since we have already coded our first ring in our maze, we will simply duplicate the sprite and code. Right-click on our Sprite 1 using your mouse or touchpad and select Duplicate. This will create an exact copy of Sprite 1. Repeat this process one more time so that you will have 3 rings in total. Now we need to resize our Sprite 2 by clicking on the Sprite 2 in the Sprite menu. Enter the number 90 into our size field. This will make our sprite a little bit smaller than the first ring. We will also resize our Sprite 3 by clicking on Sprite 3 in the Sprite menu. Enter the number 60 into our size field to make this ring even smaller than the first and second ring. We now have 3 different sized rings. Click and drag the rings on the stage to place them inside each other. We are going to slightly change the code in our Sprite 2 so that it spins the opposite way in order to make our maze a little harder. Click on Sprite 2 in the Sprite menu. Remove the turn left arrow 1 degrees from the forever loop and drop it in the toolbox to delete it. Next, we want to click and drag a turn right 15 degrees into the forever loop. We also want to change the number to 1. We now have 3 rings that will turn in 2 different directions to make our moving maze more of a challenge. Test out your code. The next step is an optional step. In this step, we will add in a variable to make our maze into a game where the player only has 3 lives or chances at getting to the home planet. First, select your Pico walking sprite so that we can add a variable and code to this sprite. Next, go to the Variables tab closer to the bottom of the toolbox on the left side of the scripting field. Click on Make a Variable and it will pop open a new window. Name this variable Lives. Make sure that it is selected for all sprites, and then select OK. Once you hit OK, you will see the variable appear in the top left corner of your stage. Next, we need to code our Pico walking sprite so that each time it touches the green ring, it bounces back to the start of the maze and loses a life. We will need 2 blocks from our Variables tab to do this. The first is the Set Lives to 0 block. Click and drag the Set Lives to 0 block directly under our When Green Flag Clicked block. Change the 0 to the number 3 so that each time we start our game, our alien will start with 3 lives. Next, we need our Change Lives by 1 block. We are going to click and drag this directly under our If Touching Green, If Then conditional statement. Place this inside our conditional statement. Next, we want to change lives by -1, so update the number inside to -1. Each time our Pico walking sprite or alien sprite touches the green ring, it will now not only go back to the start, but it will also decrease the lives by 1. Your game is now complete. Let's play and test out your code to see if your lives decrease each time you touch a green ring. You should see the number go down each time you touch the green ring. This is the end of episode 3 in this 3-part video tutorial. Be sure to follow us on social media and sign up for our newsletter to receive updates on other online lessons, activities, tutorials, and more. Thanks for watching.